So you've heard that idea, we use 10 or 20% of our brains. Imagine if we could unlock all 100% of our brains and become super amazing, and we direct that at art, drawing and painting. We'd be incredible. When I stopped consuming content for 30 days, it was nothing like that at all, because that whole thing is a myth. But it's a little bit relevant, and we are going to get back to that. But first, let's go back to day one. So no movies, no Netflix, no Disney or whatever, no YouTube videos, no podcasts, no audiobooks, no content consumption for 30 days. What impact is it going to have on my drawing and painting practice? The exceptions are music, and if I'm actively doing a lesson or something like that. So if I've got a course and I'm doing a drawing or painting from that or from a book, then I can take that in. But otherwise, no content consumption. Well, there's nothing wrong. I love movies. I really like podcasts and audio. I love audiobooks. There's nothing wrong with any of this content consumption, but I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. I'm doing it a little bit to distract myself from various doubts and worries and difficult things. And it's not good, and I want to be drawing and painting more than I am. I'm quite busy. I've got 2 little kids. I've got business to run, and so I don't have enough time for drawing and painting. But then I do have time to watch a load of YouTube videos that are great, but not as important as drawing and painting. So if I remove the YouTube videos, I can draw and paint more. That's the idea. Okay, so this is the end of week 1. No content. So how did it go? Well, I watched an entire movie. It's still going to be 30 days without content, because I'm going to add that day where I lapsed onto the end. I think you'll forgive me, because basically I had to go to the hospital a few times. Nothing serious. Everything was clear. But on one of the tests or scans or whatever, I was sedated. When I got home, I was real drowsy and woozy. And I couldn't really do anything much. And I just thought, I watched Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. And it was actually the perfect thing to watch at that moment. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to add that day on to the end. So how's it gone though, other than the lapse? It's gone okay. I think it's actually kind of interesting. Like, I've noticed myself just mindlessly being like, especially when I'm about to start a tricky bit of work that I'm not sure how to do it, I'll mindlessly just like start typing in like youtube.com, or mindlessly go to my phone to open the podcast app. And I catch myself and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I'm not supposed to do this. And so it kind of shows how deeply ingrained the habit is. So we're now 7 days after the 30-day challenge. What happened when it ended? Did I binge on content or what? How did it go? I found that the urge to like watch a bit too much YouTube or put on a podcast too much diminished. It genuinely diminished. And I did draw and paint a lot. And I always draw and paint, but I drew more. And when I did, I had more brain space for it, and I took on more challenging exercises. So like normally, I just love doing gesture drawings, so I just do that. But I started to do stuff that's more challenging, that I don't find quite as fun, like drawing the figure with simple forms, because I know it's good for me. I've been avoiding doing my dad's book cover. He wrote a book. I've been avoiding illustrating the cover because I wasn't sure how I was going to do it. But I got stuck into it in those 30 days. And I'm happy. I'm halfway through. I'm happy with how it's progressing. This is kind of what I thought would happen and why I thought this would be an interesting video. But that's actually not the conclusion that I came to. Like, stopping content consumption frees you up. So you don't have to like stop completely. Like, don't stop watching my videos. But, I thought it frees you up to spend more time on what you really want to do, which is draw and paint and practice, right? But that's not really what I learned from this, because I noticed something else happening at the same time. What I noticed was my brain just looked for new mindless habits to start forming, and they already started to form. So my dog, Maggie, got attacked by another dog, which made me very angry towards the owner, not towards the dog, obviously. She was hurt, and after I dealt with it, I was angry, I was worried what would, and I wanted to get distracted. I found myself online shopping. Like I'm not into online shopping, but I just found myself on Amazon or whatever, just looking at nonsense that I didn't need. I started reading movie reviews because I couldn't watch the movies. I checked news more. My brain was searching for something to take me away from the anxiety or whatever, right? And I realized that like I could just stop this content consumption thing. It would just get replaced by something else, because the problem is mindlessness. And so what I want to do is learn more mindfulness skills. And what I thought I was like, yeah, I'm kind of, getting this mindfulness thing. I realized how far I have to go with it. Like it's going to be as big, basically, I think, as learning to draw and paint. It's going to have the same kinds of setbacks. It's going to require the same kind of perseverance through, failures and stuff. It's going to require me to be compassionate to myself, give myself time, just like drawing and painting. Let myself have all these failures, give myself a break and keep going. I'm going to have to do all of that with mindfulness. And I realized I want to do that. I want that skill as much as any other skill I've ever learned. It's not, the limitless thing is not real. Like, I can unlock 100% of my neurons. That's a myth, right? But it is true that a lot of the time I'm giving what I'm doing 20 or 30% of my attention. Like my brain is worrying about something else. I'm thinking about this and that. I could learn to bring myself into what I'm doing much better. And I could be more consistently doing the things that I really want to do and not doing things that I don't really want to do, but I'm just doing mindlessly to avoid certain feelings. And it could be snacking for some people. It could be smoking or gambling or judging celebrities or whatever it is for doing the things that we really, really want to do in the way that we really, really want to do them would unlock so much more potential. And then when we're doing them, just being there and not being in the future and in the past and worrying about a million things, but just being right there. So, I thought the video would be real simple. Like people do videos like, I just stopped, caffeine, or I took cold showers for 30 days, or I did this one stretch or this one exercise or whatever and then I just do that every morning and everything is better. But this is a totally like working on rewiring how I approach life, how my brain works.
So one thing I did a ton of during the 30 days is hang out even more in our community. There's really, really lovely references. I'm adding more every week and you can access those. Really cool people to chat to and share drawings with. There's our Fresh Eyes Challenge, which will accelerate your drawing progress. Check out the link below. Also linked below is our free guide to the skills of life drawing. So those will help you figure out what skill you need to work on next. Also free and linked below. I have another video on the screen for you about the mindset you need for learning to draw. Check it out and I'll see you over there.